Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special reading for the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Water signs, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page. And I thank you so much in advance. Water signs, I hope that you're doing well. These readings are all about what people are thinking and saying about you. I was called to do, these readings can be a little, salacious at times, so I don't do them very often, but I was called to bring these readings in for this series because Spirit was giving me this theme that had to do with perception and projection and how people can sometimes do that to us, project onto us, or perceive something that may or may not be true, right? It may be true, may not be true. So I wanted to get a little bit of insight in order to help the water signs kind of figure out what to do next. You may have a certain person in mind during this reading. Just let your intuition guide you on what situation or who that may be. So I'm going to be using 2 decks for your reading today. The first one is the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann, and the overall energy will be from the Wild Unknown Alchemy, and at the end I'll read from the book. And usually I introduce the Oracle deck first, so already something seems switched around because I noticed it mid talking. It's important, right? We have our habits, and I have mine, and I always introduce the Oracle deck first. So the fact that I didn't do that, it kind of says it's talking about something's being switched. Maybe a role reversal, or kind of like that, kind of like a role reversal. Maybe you and another person have switched places, or switched roles, or switched jobs, or now I'm seeing, like, if it's a twin flame dynamic, maybe one of you is the chaser, one of you is the runner, and you switched, something like that. Let's get into it. Let me pull one card from the Wild Unknown Alchemy. This is for the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Angels, spirits, guides, what messages do you have regarding what people are thinking and saying about the water signs? I hope that they're saying wonderful things, because water signs are amazing as a fellow water sign. Okay. This is amazing and very interesting. The androgen. So I just said it, right? Things are being reversed. Roles are being reversed. Something's being reversed. Now, I don't have these cards memorized, and I don't know that I've ever pulled this card in a reading before, but the androgen feels like the word androgyny, which kind of feels like either an in-between or between two. Can be both or either. There's obviously these birds on either side of it. There's the sun and the moon. The spider here is also really interesting. Like, oh, the webs we weave, right? When I think of spiders, who are tremendously innovative and primally so. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so the way that they create their webs is primal. Thank you, Spirit. But the way that those webs kind of work and operate is almost sacred geometry. Like, they're precise. They serve a purpose. Like, for the spider, it would be to catch something, right? But it's also, now I'm thinking of, the children's book. I don't know if you ever read that when you were a kid, Charlotte's Web. Your name might be Charlotte. You might be dealing with a Charlotte. Charlotte's Web. It was a very sad book. But, like, the spider was giving messages through the web. So that's very interesting. So that might have to do with the internet, through the World Wide Web. Maybe there's something having to do with your online presence or your reputation, or how people, you know, maybe you have recently posted something on your social media that is causing a stir with people. Like, it's like they're talking. So now I hear Bonnie Raitt's amazing song, which I've referred to before. Let's give them something to talk about, right? Probably came up in one of these kind of series of, you know, what people are thinking and saying about you, but people are talking about people. I hear the whisper. Could you believe it? They think we're lovers, kept undercover. I feel so foolish, but they keep saying we laugh just a little too loud, stare just a little too long, we stand just a little too close. Maybe they're seeing something we don't, darling. Now, at the time that I am reading this, giving this message, recording this message, there has been a certain public display between a certain CEO and a certain person that also is high up in this same company, right? I'm sure, but this is going to come out like weeks after, or a week or so after, and so I'm sure that you know what it is. But it's a kind of, unfortunately, tale as old as time, right? The CEO of the company, who is married, another employee who is also married, they have a fling, but this time it's public, right? So I'm not suggesting that you're doing any of those things, but what I am saying is that there might be something having to do with the World Wide Web, which is funny that I'm even referring to it like that, the internet, that might have caused a stir. It doesn't have to be scandalous. It's not about that. It's just about the transmission and kind of quickly coming into the consciousness of the people in your social network. I think it looks, when I see the rainbows though, I think of like really positive things. So I don't see anything particularly negative, but I do see it's almost like these two entities kind of coming together, right? That's like night and day. So there could be this, you know, maybe it's not a romantic thing. Maybe it's like you're just hanging out with somebody that you haven't hung out with before, and you posted a picture of yourselves, and it's like, oh, I didn't know they were friends, and now people know, right? So they could be talking about that. The flower here does look like a rose, but the rose looks cold. It looks icy, and I want to make a note of that because that feels abnormal. It feels like, okay, it does act as a separation between these two entities. So, you know, is there a distance? Is there separation? That could be happening at this time. But getting back to this word, the androgen, it's kind of like this flux, this ability to be either or, that maybe is the heart of what people are thinking and saying about you, that you're full of surprises, that the Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio is flexible, malleable, a chameleon. Spirit just said a chameleon, and maybe they weren't expecting you to be that way. Water signs always have something surprising happening, right? So let's get into the tarot. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier. This is just an overall message. At the end, I'll pull some advice from Spirit, and of course, I'll read from the guidebook. Okay. 3 cards out. Sorry if you can hear, the rain started, so I'm sorry if it's a little loud. I hope you can't hear it too much. unless you like that. Okay, 6 cards out. No major arcana. Oh, excuse me, there is one major arcana. So let's start with the Four of Voices. I think this is this hibernation period that maybe people have seen or have perceived of you, like you've been in this space of maybe introversion, kind of keeping to yourself. Four of Voices, the voices in this deck talk about swords energy. The Four of Voices is just like we're keeping our thoughts to ourselves. You know, there could be a lot going on in the background that you're not necessarily expressing because you just need time to relax, recuperate. I just went through something very, I lost a pet this past week, and it's really thrown me, it threw me into a tailspin for a couple days, of course, because my pets are like my life. They're my family. So there could be something like that. You could be grieving something, or you could just be exhausted. Like I kind of see this not just getting back to the self, but kind of communing with spirit, this spacey tub, the kind of celestial waters. I want to say that not just the waters for the water sign, but the celestial waters. So maybe deep in prayer or meditation, just really connecting with the psychic realms, the otherworldly. If you identify with starseed families, like kind of connecting with them, you know, downloading light codes or using light codes to kind of uplift yourself, or kind of, I just saw project good energy out into the world, right? I do see this little representation of Saturn in the corner here, or a planet like Saturn, which makes me think of the planet of restriction, rules, father time, that Saturn is always referred to as the planet of father time. So just having to be under that thumb for a little while, and you know, maybe it's like Saturn just kind of forcing you to relax and forcing you to just be off your feet and take this cosmic bubble bath and really rejuvenate yourself. It's really important. If you're not doing it, this is the highly suggested, you know, kind of, I heard to treat yourself, but it's not quite like that. It's more of just like self-care, right? And people could be perceiving that about you. Oh, there might be thunder. People could be perceiving that about you, like, I don't know, do you seem like kind of outwardly, are things a little tumultuous, or do you seem a little sad lately? I totally understand, and you don't have to explain it to me. It's clarified by the 6, excuse me, I said the 6, which would be the Lover's card, but it's the 5, the Hierophant in reverse. You could be dealing with a Gemini, or this could be about, like, you know, commitment of some kind. Could be about an endeavor that you are really passionate about. The Hierophant card, though, major arcana, representing Taurus energy. The Hierophant talks about these times when we have to, as the planet Saturn would suggest, these times when we're faced with rules and regulations and codes of conduct, ways that we should be behaving, and you know, our morality, our ethics, whatever those may be, as well as our spirituality and how we connect to that spirituality, whether through a person or a sacred text or a text of any kind, using the material world resources in order to access spiritual realms or other dimensions. I just saw a flash of the I Ching in my head, So you may resonate with the I Ching. I have a copy of the I Ching. I have to be honest, I haven't really opened it. I haven't really accessed it. Actually, I have it right here. You can see it's brand new. Spirit wants me to just flip to a page, right? The I Ching is the book of changes. Like it's this kind of, it's kind of like tarot in a way, but you know, it's like I don't know the whole thing about it, so I'm not going to even speak about it, but I'm just going to turn to a random page and read the first thing that I see. Okay, I'm turning to a page and I'm reading this, whatever this says. The lines 6 at the beginning means enthusiasm that expresses itself brings misfortune. A man in an inferior position has aristocratic connections about which he boasts enthusiastically. This arrogance inevitably invites misfortune. Enthusiasm should never be an egoic emotion. It is justified only when it is a general feeling that unites one with others. Interesting. So it's talking about, I mean, what it talks about to me is hubris, which is a word that I love. That's such a good word, hubris. When we're experiencing good fortune and we aren't humble about it, man, it's we've seen a lot of evidence of that, haven't we, in the world? Like on like an hourly basis, it feels like. This idea of hubris, pride before the fall. Now, that's not what Spirit is suggesting that you you are doing at all, but it's more about, you know, it's about the hubris of, I think, other people, like when the water signs are experiencing something good. Let's say you're experiencing something great, and I wish that upon all of you, that you're experiencing something fantastic. There are some haters gonna hate out there, right? That they're so caught in their own hubris that they might try to compete with you. Oh, well, water signs have this, I have this, and it's better. And that was not what you were about at all. Maybe you posted that on social media, or you told people about it, right? If it's a new car, or a house, or a job, or a relationship, or some of these things of our material world that, you know, we kind of try to aspire to, try to attain, work for. I mean, we're here to live a life. You know, what else are we gonna do, right? So there could be this hubris of somebody in your social circle that's just like, who do they think they are? You know, they think they're so great because they got to, you know, go on that trip or whatever. And so instead of somebody being happy for you, their own ego kind of entraps them in this space of 5 of Swords, like competition. Like, for what? If you're really connected and understand the idea of abundance, then you know that there's enough for everyone. We just have to access it. And now I feel this muting in my right ear. It's like spirit guides coming in. It's not ringing though, but I feel that so many spirit guides are here to just try and reinforce to you that you don't have to feel any kind of way about you experiencing good fortune. You don't have to apologize for it. And if you want to share that with people in a public way, you have a right to do that. Just as there are going to be haters, there are going to be people that are so happy for you. And that's how you kind of figure out who your friends are, in a way. You didn't get this card in reverse. So it's kind of like telling me that you might be breaking with tradition, and that could be the very thing that sets people off. The water signs are not doing things as expected of them. And it makes some people very uncomfortable. Too bad, so sad. 7 of emotions, 7 of cups. Now, you know, there's a little bit of confusion, right? And I actually see these as like soul tribe people or people in your social circle, these fish. Usually Seven of Emotions, Seven of Cups can talk about being spoiled for choice, a little confused about something, or having too many options, right? And that could be the very crux of like what people are set off by, like, well, when did water signs get all of these choices and opportunities and things that, you know, great chances of experience? When did that happen, right? So, okay, it's weird because I saw the word like kind of loyalty flash through my mind's eye. It's one of these situations. Okay, I got it. So Spirit's showing me an example of, I just had a conversation with a coworker yesterday who is not a water sign, but it's just an example of like, she was on vacation with her own family and her best friend and her family or whatever, and then there was some kind of conflict between her and her best friend, and her best friend was kind of being a jerk. And so my coworker had to like kind of decide, okay, like I don't want my friend to be upset, but like I can't tend to my friend right now because I have my whole family here that I have to kind of cater to. And then she's like upset with me and I'm caught in the middle and I don't know what to do. And like in that moment, because I know this person very well, I've known her for a long time, I just kind of was like, are you sure you want to keep this friendship? Are you sure you want to keep it? Are you sure? And she's like, yeah, you know, and like I wasn't telling her to end it, but I just wanted to ask the question because Spirit kind of like pushed me to ask, like, what is it that we're really trying to decide between? The rain is coming down hard, water signs, for your reading. I just want to say, it's like, it's the best feeling to be inside on a rainy day like this, but it's kind of like it's like adding to the vibe. Lots of emotions, lots of turbulence, right? Of you kind of having to maybe decide between, right? Decide between things. That part I don't think is public necessarily. I don't think you're just, you know, outwardly saying I'm confused by stuff, and I think it's just a conflict within your heart. I hope I don't have to pause this reading for any reason, but, you know, nature. So, saying that, look at the heart there. Page of Emotions, Page of Cups. Page of Emotions can talk about authentic gestures of love. They can also talk about slippery apologies. Slippery apologies. You can see here the kind of her solar plexus is this, it's a whole world unto itself in there, a little forest or clearing. I mean, I love these cards. They're very surreal. I didn't always love these cards. I had to get used to them. But it's this sense here that we have our heart, we're open. This is what I feel like, a open body language, open heart chakra, open solar plexus, open, you know, even throat chakra, right? Like open to conversation, open to possibility, open to ideas, which also reinforces the Seven of Emotions, right? Your heart is open. Is it too open? I'm gonna ask for a clarifier. Is there confusion here? What are we confused about? Yeah. See? I mean, Spirit doesn't make mistakes. Three of Voices or Three of Swords in the reverse. This is the toughest card to get in the tarot. One of the toughest. The other toughest card is also on the table for you water signs. I mean, would we be water signs without kind of dealing with this kind of stuff? Three of Voices, heartache, heartbreak, this feeling being left out, isolated. Tears might have been shed, but the Voices is the Swords energy, so there could be a little bit of thinking and overthinking about, you know, why did this happen? How did we get here? What did I do wrong? You got this card in reverse though. So I think that to a certain extent, it's like you may never know the full extent or all the answers involved in this scenario, but you're trying to just move forward, right? And I'm seeing the example that Spirit is giving me from my own life of somebody who I had just recently kind of tried to rekindle a friendship with after like several months of like being on the outs with this person. And then the other day they just really effed up. They like big time. Really, really insensitive, adversarial, just wanting to come at me because of some hubris. And at some point the water sign's gonna be like, boundaries up, heart chakra closed for business when it comes to you, door closed, and I'm closing it this time. And you know what? We may be on the other side of that door alone, but isn't it better to be alone than in the company of people that are not worth our time? Maybe this is something you're asking yourself. It does feel like another kind of in-between, and yet, at the end of the day, you make your decision about it, right? Yeah, and I do think that somebody owes you an apology. And I don't know that you're going to get it. That's okay. They may owe it to you, but you don't need it because you're able to just push on. We're ending here with the Ten of Voices in reverse, the other difficult card. Ten of Swords. It's this like leveling. It's just, stick a fork in me, I'm done. It's very dramatic, Spirit. Spirit, please protect my town and this home, and thank you. Ten of Voices, it's just like we've exhausted all possibilities of rational thought. It's like we're just at the end of our tether and trying to release now, because the only place we can go is the Ace of Swords. We go from the 10 back to the Ace. When we get to the Ace of Swords, there's clarity there, but it's been a difficult time trying to reconcile whatever this is. If it's like a falling out with somebody, or confusion as to something, or their interpretation of you as being able to experience multiple kind of abundances or victories, or, you know, and you just saying, what did I do wrong? It's like you're not even asking that question anymore. Queen of Voices in reverse. This is Libra energy for me. Queen of Voices is usually a character that kind of demands the truth. She can be sarcastic. She's very witty, very sarcastic. She's no nonsense, discerning, cold. She's been through these two energies. The court cards come after the minor arcanas and the suits, right? So the Queen of Swords has been through Ace to 10 and back again. And she's like not dealing with your BS, right? Like, this is you, Queen of Swords. But when the Queen of Swords is in reverse for me, it's like, I don't even care about your apology. I don't even care about what you have to say about it. I'm turning away from it, and I'm moving on with my life. Okay? Not to be cold, because we're not cold water signs, but just to be looking forward, focusing on our abundance, focusing on the blessings, because there's so many. Focusing on the things and the people that make sense for us. Ooh, very strange. I picked up the wrong deck to shuffle, and now I'm going to shuffle it. I'm going to shuffle it again. Because I wanted to ask for a clarifier, and I picked up the wrong deck, but we're just going to go with it. What clarifier do you have? for the water signs. Thank you. Tin. Interesting. Look at this. Number 21. 21 corresponds to the World card in the Major Arcana. Beautiful. The World card is chapters closing and new chapters beginning. We're moving on, water signs. And people know it. People know that you're moving into a next chapter of your life. And some people are talking about it. Because it's like, I just think that you caught somebody off guard. Or several people off guard. And look at this. This is beautiful kind of diamond opening here. And there's that rainbow energy again. You know, tin, it's not one of the more valued metals, right? Tin can. And yet, how many uses have we found, right, for tin? It's one of these things. Okay, I got it, Spirit. Thank you. It's one of these. Okay, they're giving me the scene from like one of my favorite movies, which is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I know I talk about this movie all the time, but it's just so chock full of awesomeness. Where, if you've ever seen it, and I hope you have, the end of the film, Indiana Jones is like trying to figure out the cup of Christ. Like, which cup is the cup? And they're all the cups, and most of them are gold and ornate, and they have jewels in them. And the crazy lady that he's with is like, it would not be made out of gold. And he looks at this very unassuming cup. And he says, that's the cup of a carpenter, right? Again, it's that idea of hubris versus humility. And there's something that you've created out of something humble, and you have made something spectacular from it. Can I get a card of advice from Spirit? Thank you. I could not have chosen a better card if I tried. 8 of Emotions, 8 of Cups. We're moving on now. The 8 of Cups talks about moving away from 8 full cups. Why? Because we know that there's 9 cups and 10 cups. 9 cups is wish fulfillment, 10 cups is bliss. And some people would say, oh, but you had it so good before. And you're saying, and I'm going to have it even better. And it's that sentiment is like radiating out. You see those kind of vibrational patterns? It's radiating out from you. And there might be a big question mark as to what it is that the water signs are walking towards. You may not have all the answers, but you know that you're walking. You're walking away from what no longer serves you. It's so amazing. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Okay. Reading from the book, The Androgyne. Creative transcendence, multiplicity, the artist. The Androgyne is a deeply revered image in alchemy, born of Hermes and Aphrodite. Hermaphroditos has been classically depicted as a balanced union of divine masculine, the sun, and divine feminine, the moon. Yet today's alchemist knows that the androgyne is far more nuanced than that. It encompasses the infinite spectrum and reveals itself in ever-changing, non-binary forms. The divine hermaphrodite defies definition, as it is a deeply personal felt experience. Assessing this fluid and enlightened state requires us to slip into the contradictory realm of the senses. Breath by breath, we are drawn into our limbs, our fluids, our orifices, organs, and cells. We let go of rules and labels. Judgment is suspended. The gods are present, and as are the creative mysteries of the underworld. For a brief moment, we hold all of our complexities in one loving form. Like a newborn, we know not our name, gender, age, or location. We are the embodied artist, embraced unconditionally by the sun and moon. Beautiful. That's your reading, water signs. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, water signs.